Welcome to the Stockboy Gaming channel. I'm the Stockboy, and as I'm sure you know, we've got some fun new toys to play with now in GTA Online. Right now, we're looking at the Torero XO, and I'm going to be putting it up against the Emerus and the Krieger, the two best supercars in the game. We're going to see exactly how good this new Pegassi is. It's going to be a ton of fun. If you're new to the channel, tested for everything that you see on the screen there. As we go through all the tests, I'll talk about handling characteristics, all that fun stuff. But these are real times, real drag times, and I've got more coming with this update. So make sure you subscribe to the channel if you want to see more. If you like what you see, I'd love to have you around. As always, I'm starting out at La Puerta Dragway. We're looking at real drag times. We're going to look at 1/8 mile, 1/4 mile, and 1/2 mile times today for this new Torero XO. Going up against the Emerus, and look at how fast that Torero is off the line. It crushes the Emerus on the way to the 1/8 mile. It extends the lead going to the 1/4 mile, and it just keeps pulling. It is a really quick car. Lots and lots of power from the Torero, which is awesome. If you've been around the channel for a while, you know that when I was hoping for what is now the Ignis, I wanted it to be a very fast supercar that could compete with the Emerus and the Krieger, that was just very powerful and maybe didn't handle so well. So we're going to see if that's what this is. So far, it's looking pretty good. And going up against the Krieger, it's got another gap to that 1/8 mile line. I know a lot of people think the Krieger is the fastest supercar. We're going to see if that's true here in this test today. We've got another 1/4 mile victory for the Torero as well. And going down to that 1/2 mile, the Krieger's not going to catch up. So the Torero XO, very, very good in a straight line. And you can see it's almost a 9-second 1/4 mile. For a non-house special works car, that is seriously impressive. Beating both the Emerus and the Krieger on the drag strip. Next, we want to see how it's going to do on my custom speedway. I test top speed this way as average speed around an entire lap at this custom speedway. It's a massive speedway. The cars have plenty of room to get up to their top speed and maintain it. So then I just average out the lap times. Not going to have you watch every car go around. Just going to show you what they look like on this hot lap, I guess, if that's what you want to call it. But the Emerus and the Krieger, I've said it a million times and you probably know, they're kind of the kings of the supercar class right now. The Torero is faster at my speedway as well as the drag strip. So far, all these tests that we're doing, the first two, the Torero is looking really good with almost a 140 mile an hour average speed there. That is just really solid. So can it hold up on my test track? And this is a really technical circuit. We're going to see, can it put everything together with handling, with braking, all that good stuff, and keep up with these top tier supercars? It's looking all right through that first hairpin. We're going to go to this first gantry and see that the Krieger has an edge, but probably not as much as you expect. Definitely not as much as I was expecting. The Torero is fast. It has a similar problem to the Krieger where it understeers a little bit. You can see the Krieger pulls away a little there. The understeer on the Torero is a little more noticeable, but it has all that power, and the power seems to be making up for the lack of handling. It's behind the Krieger. The Krieger's got a decent gap. It's about a second there, but it's still keeping up really well. And considering how other supercars can't keep up with these two on this track, being the Krieger or the Emerus, the Torero's doing really well. And now we have a straight shot to the finish line. So it's a little bit behind, but that Torero we know is really fast, so it's going to be giving it everything it's got. It's not going to quite catch up, but we know that it can kind of keep up with the Krieger on a pretty technical track. That's pretty impressive. Now, if you're looking at this battle here and thinking, I know how this is going to end, stick around because you might be surprised. I retest for every video that I do, so I can tell you both of these cars have record lap times that you're going to see here. The Emerus is behind the Krieger at that first gantry. Now, though, the Emerus' huge strength is its rotation. I love how it handles, and you're going to see it fly around those two corners, and it catches the Krieger in those high-speed sections. It also has better acceleration. To me, it handles a little bit better, but the Krieger has a lot more grip. It's a lot easier to drive, I should say. The Emerus, though, look at that. It is pulling ahead. Going through this last sector, this is going to favor the Krieger. It's going to stay planted a little bit, but the Emerus, if you can hold on, it can really hold tight to the corner. And the Krieger maybe gains a bit, but now the Emerus onto that front stretch, it's going to keep going. It's going to keep chugging, and it is going to beat the Krieger by almost a half second. I think it's 3/10 of a second. Let's take a look here. Yep, it's about 3/10 of a second. Not a huge gap, but in racing, that's pretty decent. I'm really impressed with the Torero, though. Even though that's a 55-second lap time, 55 seconds here is really good. Anything under 57 is really fast. 55 is pretty insane, and that's right up there with the Ignis. But if we look at the speed score, we're putting everything together. How does it perform overall? That's what this channel is all about. The Torero is just barely behind the Emerus. The Emerus being the king of the supercars class. I mean, that is not what I expected. It's what I wanted. It's not what I expected, and that's some pretty exciting stuff. So this Torero is the real deal. And with a lot of these Rockstar created tracks, you've got, top speed's going to matter, acceleration's going to matter. You're not going to run into quite as many hairpins and crazy trail breaking turns like I have here. I think the Torero is going to be a very legitimate option for races in Supers class, which is just amazing. The Emerus is still one of my favorite cars in the game. I just love the handling, the rotation that you get. The back end can slide out a little bit. It can be a little hard to control, but once you get used to it, it is definitely the best handling supercar in the game, still in my opinion, maybe except for the Ignis. That one's pretty good, but the Ignis can't keep up with these three. As for the Krieger, if you know me, you know my opinion on this car. It understeers. Fast cars don't understeer. I want to be behind it. I just can't quite get there. I still like it. It's still a good car. It's the easiest to drive, but it's not my favorite of the three we got here. Thanks so much for joining today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you want to see more Stockboy content in the future, I got a lot of stuff coming with this update. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think in the comments too. Thanks again for joining, and I hope to see you next time.